What's up, guys? Welcome back to Miami Dolphins Syndicate. As always, I'm your co-host Donovan Quick, and this is going to be my instant day 2 reaction to the draft. Now, in this day 2 reaction, we actually had some picks in day 2, so I can go over those picks a little bit. But before I do, I just want to say, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Get our notifications for when our videos drop. We're normally one of the first ones when news drops to actually drop videos, so make sure you keep that bell rung for when you can get our notifications. So without further ado, I just want to say I am very disappointed in this day. So in round 3, we had round 2, we had the potential to pick Darnell Washington at 51. We had the potential to take a good offensive lineman from UF, like Torrance. So we had the potential to draft of need, and we went and drafted Cam Smith. Now, I know a lot of people have Cam Smith as probably like the 23rd best overall player in the draft, and to get him at 51 is a really good value. However, if the Dolphins have been going in like a win now mode, paying everybody everything possible, and this seems more like a Patriots-esque move rather than a Rams-esque move, and that's kind of what I've been trying to warn Dolphin fans about a little bit. Like, I want to do what the Rams are doing, but it seems like Greer doesn't want to fully go and pull that trigger that way. It seems like Greer wants to kind of build a dynasty like what the Patriots did. However, the Patriots were able to protect Tom Brady for 20 years while he was with them. So I get wanting to draft a CB there and wanting to draft, to depth. Because I mentioned in my live stream that, look, hey, Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey are both going into year 8. They're both getting older. Jalen Ramsey a little bit younger than Xavier Howard. He came out, I think, after his junior year. Xavier came out after full 4. But so those guys are getting older. So I wouldn't have minded in like the 6th or 7th round picking up a guy, or even trading Cedric Wilson for a 5th round pick and getting a corner with that pick. And a lot of people are just really mad about, because if Igbo actually worked out the way that he was supposed to, then this pick probably wouldn't have happened. And it's really just like, it's so frustrating. Now, this could potentially work out great. We don't know. We do have one of the deepest. I mean, he's going to come in as a 2nd round pick. On most teams, probably be a starter. On this team, he's going to be the 5th corner. Like, he's not starting over Nick Needham, who is one of the best slot corners in the league. Kader Kuhu's not starting over him. Kader Kuhu is definitely starting over Cam Smith. He was the 20th best corner in the league last year. That's just how good Nick Needham is. So you're telling me that you now have 5 potential starting corners on your team? Like, I get we were injury riddled last year and we were down to our 6th, 7th corners. But how often does that really happen to one room back-to-back years? Like, Xavier Howard has a little bit of injury history, don't get me wrong. But what are the odds that he pulls both groins again? Even if it's just one groin, like, what are the odds of him being sidelined like that? And he was the number 1 corner last year. Jalen Ramsey's he's had a couple injuries throughout his career, but he's been an Iron Man. But he does play a physical, game of football. And he plays a physical style of corner. And so I wasn't really happy with that. Now, to go further into this, in the 4th round, Darnell Washington was still there at 84. How he was still there is beyond my knowledge. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, well, there's obviously something wrong with him. But we've seen where people just keep falling and falling and falling, and then they get drafted, and then they're like, why did this guy fall again? Or you have those guys like, yeah, that's why he fell. But I think Washington is going to be one of those guys that is going to be like, yeah, why did he fall? So, once again, had a potential to, shore up the tight end slot, but instead we go with Devon Achane. Now I would have been okay with drafting Jahmyr Gibbs, but the reason for that is because he has hands, or even trading for Dalvin Cook because he has hands. DeAndre Swift, he has hands. Now this guy, he has decent hands, but it's no better than Savon Ahmed. It's no better than Raheem Mostert. Now he is just as fast as Mostert, if not faster, and he doesn't have the injury history of him. And he definitely sees the field a lot better than Savon Ahmed. But like, I don't get this pick, especially with, once again, Darnell Washington there. Now my thing about tight ends, specifically Darnell Washington, we lost Gesicki. Now Gesicki didn't have a lot of production in this offense, yards wise, catch wise, and whatnot, because a lot of, like 80% of the passes went to Waddle or Tyreek. And then, but who's gonna replace the touchdowns? Gesicki had 6 touchdowns last year. I'm sorry, 5. Someone corrected me on that earlier. I'd throw it in my face. Shout out to Sarny. Not really, but with that, who's gonna replace the 5 touchdowns? The reason he had 5 touchdowns, and we saw in the Baltimore game, if we didn't have a guy of his size, no one else is catching that. Gesicki was the reason that we won the Baltimore game. He was the reason we were in the Buffalo games. And like, I get that you can scheme up a different red zone scheme, and you know, you can scheme up the touchdowns to be differently, but it's just like, man, like let me get that guy, you know? And so I'm hoping with tomorrow, Cedric Wilson does get traded. I'm hoping that. And I'm hoping that with that we pick Will Mallory out of the University of Miami. He's the best tight end left available, and he has by far the best hands of the tight ends available. And he's still very long, can block. This is a really deep tight end draft, and the fact that we didn't go and get one of them after losing a top 5 tight end blows my mind. Blows my mind. So yeah, that's my day 2 reaction. Very, very disappointed with day 2. Like, I understand the mentality. It's, you know, you can never have enough running backs and you can never have enough corners. I get that. It's a Patriots mindset. I'm not a huge fan of it today. Hopefully tomorrow will be better. And guys, if you want to check out my reaction to us drafting Cam Smith, make sure to tune in tomorrow at 10 a.m. I will make sure to have that video uploaded for y'all so you can see my reaction. And let me just say, I blew up. Alright guys, have a lovely evening, great afternoon, morning time, whatever y'all want to call this. Deuces gooses.